The hardest problems in life often solve themselves the moment you finally decide to just let go. Today, I'm going to show you exactly how relaxing forces circumstances to work in your favor. But to understand why it's so hard for us to let go of control, we have to remember where we learned it in the first place. The problem with common sense. There's a question I never asked myself as a kid, but adults asked it constantly, and always with this look, like it was the most important question in the world. Are you even using your head? Use your head. Think. Turn your brain on. Listen to reason, not to feelings. Feelings are weakness. The head is power. And you know what? We listened. All of us. Honestly and diligently. That's how a soldier grew inside us. Well trained, always ready for battle. His name is Reason, and he knows how to do everything. He can explain, calculate, plan, control, find someone to blame, make a to-do list for a week ahead, and then instantly prove why not a single point on that list can actually be done. Reason is armed with what we usually call common sense, a minimal set of rules on how not to screw up in this world. Rules for dealing with people, safety rules, rules of etiquette. Basically, a survival guide. And you know what the problem with a survival guide is? It teaches you how to survive. Not how to live, but how to survive. But life works a little differently than what the manual says. Neil Donald Walsh put it more accurately than I ever could. He said, "Your brain is not the source of your intelligence. It's just a data processor. It receives data, sorts it out using old templates, and tells you how things work based on what already happened, not what is, not what's possible." In other words, reason is an excellent archivist, but a very mediocre navigator. And this is where things get really interesting, because most people live completely convinced that their reason is who they are. That this endless internal chatter, these judgments, plans, and fears, that this is their true self. But you have something else. Something that worked long before you were taught to use your head. Call it the soul, intuition, your inner compass. The word doesn't matter. What matters is this. Little kids don't ask how they look in other people's eyes. They want something, and they do it. They get mad, and they say it straight out. They get tired. They fall asleep right on the floor. And then, people start explaining to them that this is wrong. And gradually, almost invisibly, they hand over the right to steer their lives to someone else. To parents, teachers, rules of society. And to reason, who memorize those rules better than anyone. It's not a tragedy. It's just how growing up works. But there is a subtle and very important difference between using reason as a tool and allowing reason to be the master. The master controls everything. The master tolerates no deviations. The master knows exactly how things should be and fights for it to the bitter end. And that would be fine if life were just a little more agreeable. Stop fighting reality. Life, unfortunately, isn't known for being agreeable. It always goes where it wants to, at its own pace, without asking our reason for permission. And when that happens, reason does the only thing it was ever taught to do. It doubles down on control. More planning, more calculating. Grip tighter, grip tighter. The logic is bulletproof. Except the result, for some reason, is the exact opposite. I remember a time when I really wanted a certain situation to play out exactly as I had planned. I pushed. I convinced. I micromanaged every detail. And the harder I pushed, the worse it got. A textbook example of what a carefully orchestrated disaster looks like from the inside. And then, I just got tired. Not out of some deep wisdom. I just literally ran out of energy to argue with reality. And suddenly, everything resolved itself. And it worked out better than anything I could have engineered. Yogananda wrote about this, short and clear. If you are calm and clear, the right actions will arise by themselves. He didn't say if you try harder. Not if you control tighter. Exactly this, if you are calm. There is a fundamental difference between relaxing and giving up. A relaxed person hasn't stopped caring. A relaxed person is just someone who trusts the world enough not to waste energy fighting it. Here's how I see it. The world is your sponsor. It's not against you. It supports those who move in sync with what's happening, rather than those who try to rewrite the script on the fly. This isn't mysticism. It's just the conservation of energy. The energy you waste on resistance is energy that is no longer working toward your goals. The only problem is we are really bad at telling the difference between a current we should surrender to and a real obstacle we need to navigate around. But here's where it gets even more interesting. Because most of these obstacles, we don't find them. We build them. Why you create your own obstacles. Here is how it works under the hood. Something doesn't go according to plan. You're late. You got rejected. Someone didn't text back. Reason instantly delivers a verdict. Obstacle. Threat. I must do something. And rushes in to fix, persuade, prove a point. The result? The situation doesn't get better. It heats up. Because the obstacle itself was a completely neutral event. The label bad was assigned by us. And the exact moment we started fighting it, that's when it became a real problem. Walsh put it simply, what you resist, persists. Now watch where this leads. Most of our plans for happiness are built on the exact same schematic. I'll get that job, and I'll be happy. I'll get married, and things will be good. I'll lose weight, then for sure. And at every single point on that list, there's a hidden judgment. Until I achieve this, things are bad. But wait, who actually wrote that list? When was the last time you sat down and consciously, without the influence of parents, schools, or social media, chose what exactly would make you happy? Life, by the way, regularly offers its own options. We reject them because they're not on the list. And then we look back years later, and we realize those wrong gifts were the best things that ever happened to us. Funny how that works. But it's hard to see it from the inside, especially when all your attention goes toward managing something that doesn't even belong to you. The ultimate paradox of control. What exactly doesn't belong to you? Let's be honest. Other people's reactions. Other people's decisions. A coworker's mood on a Monday morning. The text back you didn't get. Traffic. The weather. The line at the grocery store. And here you are, spending colossal effort trying to manage all of it, but not managing yourself. I'm not speaking metaphorically. When we are in a state of tension and control, we are literally living on autopilot. Old script, familiar route, predictable reaction. The situation manages us. We aren't managing the situation. And that is the ultimate diagnosis. Reason is busy managing the world and completely misses the only thing it can actually control. Now, here's the paradox. It sounds so counterintuitive you might want to hear it twice. When you stop controlling the external, you actually gain more influence over the situation than you had while you were fighting it. Not less. More. Because the observer always sees the whole picture. While the guy in the brawl, he only sees his opponent. I've tested this time and time again. The absolute worst decisions in my life were made in a state of rigid control. The most precise ones, in a state of calm observation. Ray Dalio talks about this in his book Principles. Our ego is the ultimate enemy of good decisions. It creates an illusion that you are seeing the entire picture, when in reality, you are only seeing your reaction to it. That's why the calmest person in the room always sees more than the one arguing the loudest. The only problem is, there is something living inside us that won't let us just sit back and relax. The loudest voice in your head. This something, it has a name. I call them programs. Deeply ingrained scripts, written so far down they feel like our own core beliefs. Relaxing means losing. Trusting means being naive. No pain, no gain. These are not your thoughts. These are collective fears that you adopted at some point and never bothered to check for updates. The issue is, fighting a program is entirely useless. I've tried. The result is always the same. The harder you resist, the louder they get. A program feeds on your energy of resistance. That's not a metaphor. It's literally how human attention works. Viktor Frankl, who survived a concentration camp, phrased it more accurately than anyone ever has. Between stimulus and response, there is a space. In that space is our power to choose our response. He didn't say defeat your fear. He didn't say destroy the program. Just notice the pause between the trigger and your reaction. That is enough. In practice, it looks like this. You catch a program running, and instead of declaring war on it, you say, I see you. I accept you. But I am choosing something else. No suppression. No fighting. Just redirecting your attention to where you actually want to go. And that is the only control that actually works. Not over the world. Not over people. Over where your attention is pointed, right in this exact moment. Calmness isn't the absence of noise outside. It's the decision not to feed the noise inside. And if all this sounds a bit too abstract, let's look at a concrete example. The 1 second rule. Picture this scenario. Someone sends you a message, a work email, a text, a casual remark, or simply something goes off script, and you feel it before you even have time to think. Your body tenses up. Your breathing gets a little shallower. Something inside is already revving the engine. Sound familiar? In this exact moment, one of two scripts launches. The first one is automatic. Reason instantly flags it. A threat, an injustice, a problem. And off you go down the old familiar route. Explaining, proving, defending, withdrawing. On the outside, it looks like you're reacting to a situation. On the inside, it feels like something is driving you, rather than the other way around. This is being the victim, not a weak person, just a person who, in this specific moment, let a program take the wheel. The second script is almost invisible. Same situation, same tension, but somewhere in there, in those exact same first few seconds, a tiny pause appears. Not a decision, not an analysis, just an observation. There it is. I see it happening. And from that space, you can actually choose how to reply, whether you even should, what actually matters right now. I remember one of those moments. A conversation that was heading south fast. The old me would have explained, insisted, forced my way through. Instead, I stopped. Not because some self-help book said it was the right thing to do, but because it became obvious. If I react right now, I'm not reacting to the person. I'm reacting to my own program. The conversation went a completely different way. The person opened up. The situation resolved itself. Not the way I would have forced it to, but better. This doesn't work 100% of the time. But the difference is, when you are in the observer state, you at least see what's actually happening. When you're in the program state, you only see what your fear allows you to see. Calmness is not a personality trait. It's a skill, and you can learn to steer it. Every single time something goes wrong, you have 1 second. In that second, you are either a victim or a creator. Not forever, not as a personality type. Just right now, the world is not against you. When you stop fighting it, life gets easier and much more enjoyable. Not because there are fewer problems, but because you've stopped wasting your energy on a war you could never win anyway.